Hello, my darlings. I hope you're all doing very, very well. I hope you are sitting comfortably, you are cozy, and you have your snacks and your beverages at the ready. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at a very, very, very viral news story that has blown up over the past few days. You have probably seen it yourself. I have been tagged in this a lot, sent this story a lot. The first person that sent this to me was a person named Josh. I've mentioned Josh before, but I would say he's a good friend. He's a good friend. He is a moderator of my Facebook group. And yeah, he's just an all-round cool guy. But he sent me an Instagram message with a link to an article about this. And what this viral news story is the fact that a man chose to go under anesthesia for a tattoo, and he sadly passed away because of it. In case you're not up to speed with this whole anesthesia tattoo situation, I have spoke about it a few times here and there. I think I've made like one video dedicated to it, maybe, I'm not sure, but I've definitely mentioned it throughout a few videos. But yeah, in case you aren't aware, there are people that elect to go under general anesthetic to get tattooed, and you are completely knocked out. Like, it's the real deal, general anesthesia. It's not like a local anesthetic or anything like that. You are quite literally unconscious. You have absolutely no idea what is happening to you at all. Anytime I've mentioned general anesthetic tattoos, I've always said I've never been under general anesthetic before, so I don't really know what it's like. Back in October of 2024, I actually went under general anesthetic myself for a very, very small throat surgery. I was literally under for like an hour. It was a very bizarre feeling because you do literally just kind of just like knock out. You're just completely unconscious for a while and then you wake up, but it's not like a sleep. It's just nothingness. Like, it's like a time jump. You just jump from, before surgery to after surgery. But anyway, back to the anesthetic tattoos. Basically, people will choose to go under anesthesia so they could get large scale tattoos like a back piece or a front piece, like a chest piece kind of thing, or sleeves. Like, I'm talking huge tattoos that normally take many, many sessions to do. Some of these people that choose to go under anesthesia for tattoos also get tattooed by more than one tattoo artist. You will see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tattoo artists in a medical room where these anesthetic tattoos are normally taking place, and they'll all be working on this person, this client that has chosen to have anesthetic. People also choose to do the general anesthesia route because it quickens up the tattoo process, so you can get a back piece within a day, or a chest piece, or a sleeve. Again, something that takes a while to do if you are conscious. If you're under general anesthetic, you're basically just laying there for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, so incredibly still, because again, of course, you're knocked out. You don't need any breaks. You don't need to get up to go to the toilet. You don't need to have a moment there to, collect your thoughts because you're going through a lot of pain. You don't need, half an hour to have a lunch break or anything like that. Like, it's wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Also, obviously, when you're under anesthetic, you don't feel anything. You feel absolutely nothing. You kind of blink and you wake up and the procedure is done. In the client's eyes, general anesthesia tattoos are full of pros. You don't feel anything. You get a large scale tattoo done in a day, and also in a tattoo artist's eyes, it's full of pros as well, because hey, the client is sitting still. You get to do a fun large scale tattoo in a day. And also, another pro for a tattoo artist is the fact that the tattoo artists that do this charge a lot of money. Like, I'm talking a lot. These tattoos are not cheap. We're talking, anywhere from 8 to 10 to 12 grand. And obviously all of that money doesn't just go to the tattoo artists that do this, it goes to the medical professionals as well. But still, the tattoo artists bump up the prices so much. These tattoos are normally done in medical facilities. They're done in a controlled professional environment, so that's something, And yeah, for the most part, everything has been very legit thus far. There's nothing shady that's happened within these general anesthetic tattoos. Everything seems to be okay. There's been no back alley procedures yet anyway, and this whole story has nothing to do with that. It's all been done very professionally. Okay, I take back what I just said immediately. So I was just trying to find clips for this video while I'm editing, and I come across this. Now, I don't know about you, but to me that does not look like a medical facility. That does not look like a surgery room. It doesn't look like a doctor's office. It don't even look remotely like a dentist office. It doesn't even look like a vet's. It doesn't look like a place where you should be under general anaesthetic by any means. Like, if this person was to have a medical emergency, holy crap. Oh my god, I literally can't believe what I have just witnessed. This is beyond irresponsible on the tattoo artist and the anesthesiologist. Like, how is this even like, what? Sadly though, now one person has died because they went to get tattooed under general anaesthetic. The person who chose to have the tattoo under general anaesthetic didn't even get to have the tattoo done yet. I want to make that so clear, because there are so many, clickbait headlines that kind of allude to the fact that he died under general anesthetic while being tattooed. No, the tattoo didn't even start to happen, but I still wanted to cover this to spread awareness of just how dangerous this whole thing is and why you just shouldn't do it, in my opinion. So we're going to take a look at an article from The Independent that talks about this. So it's titled, Influencer 45 Dies After Going Under General Anaesthesia for Back Tattoo. A Brazilian car influencer, Ricardo Godoi, has died in the middle of a procedure to receive a back tattoo. The news was announced on his Instagram account on Monday, January 20th, where Godoi had more than 200,000 followers. Today we say goodbye to Ricardo Godoi, an incredible person who left his mark on the hearts of all who had the privilege of knowing him. The post, translated from Portuguese, read, His joy, generosity and light will remain present in our memories and in every story he helped to build. May he rest in peace. The influencer had reportedly hired a tattoo studio to give him a full back tattoo, which they opted to do by putting him under general anesthesia in a hospital in Santa Catarina, state of Brazil. Hours before his death, Godoi informed his followers of the procedure and promised to check back in with them once it was over. However, he ended up going into cardiac arrest and died at 12 p.m. on Monday, according to the Instagram post. According to a statement shared with the Daily Mail by the tattoo studio owner, Godoi died at the beginning of the sedation and intubation. That occurred before they even started tattooing him, the owner said, adding that Godoi was a great friend. He was quickly checked and a cardiologist was called in to try and revive him, unfortunately without success. Police are reportedly investigating Godoi's death. The influencer was known for his content about luxury cars, which sometimes involved his wife, Rafaela Gastaldi. He was also the CEO of his own business, Godoi Premium Group. One of his friends, Eduardo Razuc, told the Mail how he was feeling ahead of the funeral and how unexpected the death was. I spoke to him in the morning, unbelievable, none of us expected that, he's already in my prayers. Godoi was certainly an enlightened person, he said. Godoi's death comes as more people opt to receive general anaesthetic before getting tattoos. Anaesthesia is really a lot more complicated than just flipping a switch, like turning off a light. Dr. John Bear, an anesthesiologist and chair of anesthesia at Swedish Medical Center in Colorado, said in a recent interview with Scripps News. But those who have the money, the fame, they will find the places they can get this safely done. But still, there's always that inherent risk. Back in the 1940s, it was about 1 in 1,000 people would die from anesthesia, he explained. Now that number is closer to 1 in 100,000. This whole thing to me truly is very, very tragic and very, very sad, because Ricardo was only 45 years old. That is so young. Dying at 45 years old is incredibly sad, no matter what the circumstances are. And, he had a wife and a great career. And I know you can't take things at face value when it comes to social media, but his Instagram just looked like he had a very blessed life, and he was very fun-loving and he enjoyed what he did. And it is obviously for his friends and his family just such a big loss, and it's just such a shame that he has lost his life like this. And while yes, it was his choice, he did consent to doing this, and it wasn't a necessary procedure by any means, it's still very, very devastating, it's just sad. There of course have been very, very mixed thoughts about this whole thing. I was sent this post the most. It's from The Honest Tattooer, where they posted a picture of a screenshot of an article that says influencer dies at the age of 45 after going under general anesthesia for a back tattoo procedure. Basically what we've just read. But there was so many comments on there, and some of them I kind of agree with, and some of them were just so so mean, you know, like there's just no need. So there's this comment that says, this was just a question of time to happen. What a tragic, unnecessary loss. Hope this nonsense ends right at this point. Rest in peace. This is my thoughts exactly. Something like this was inevitable. The more frequent that general anesthesia tattoos happen, it was gonna happen. Like with any general anesthetic procedures, whether that's for medical reasons or cosmetic reasons, death because of general anesthesia is something that happens. And being put under general anesthetic for tattoos would be no exception. It's not the tattooing that would be the issue, it would be the general anesthetic. Because we as humans can go through tattoos without general anesthetic. You know, you don't hear of anyone dying because they got tattooed as such, like getting the tattooed process. Yes, there's been people that have died because of tattoos, but that's because they had a very deadly infection that, you know, went to sepsis and they died because of that or what have you. But yeah, we as humans can get tattooed without general anesthetic. It's something we've been doing for thousands and thousands of years. It's the general anesthetic that would be the issue. And like I've been saying, this whole thing is obviously incredibly devastating, and using someone's death as an example really does feel icky and wrong. But I just want to say that I hope that now that this has happened with Ricardo, I hope nobody ever takes general anesthetic tattoos lightly again. I also hope that this is a massive wake-up call for any tattoo artist that thinks doing a general anesthetic tattoo is a good idea. You don't pay for a tattoo only with money. It's not supposed to be fast and painless. It's a process where you pay with blood, sweat and tears, reflecting on your life experience and coming out of it a different person, both on the outside as well as the inside. It's an art and a test of endurance, and it should always stay that way. Respect your body and listen to pain. It's your friend and it stops you from going too far. This, in my opinion, is a very respectful way of discussing this matter, and I kind of agree with it. But as you know, I'm not like anti-numbing cream due to reasons I've stated many times in the past. Some people do just need help with pain management due to chronic illnesses. There's a lot of chronic illnesses out there that inflict so much pain onto people, so if they do need a helping hand with numbing cream when it comes to getting tattooed, then I'm all for it. And there's some people with trauma that really do not like pain for obviously traumatic reasons. I just personally think that saying that you have to feel pain to get tattooed is very like gatekeepery, you know, and it's kind of not inclusive to everybody. I personally just don't think we should shame those that use stuff like numbing cream. I'm just going to put it out there. And in my mind, numbing cream is a lot safer than general anesthetic. You know, what's the worst that can happen with numbing cream? An allergic reaction. But this is why we do patch tests. If you do a patch test, you'll be fine. But anyway, of course, tattoos hurt. I've been tattooed many times in very painful placements. But I think we can all agree on the fact that they don't hurt so much that you need to be knocked out for them. I don't know how to say it any more politely than that, because today's video is based on the fact that someone has died because of anesthetic, you know. But like, I don't think it should be a service that's offered, you know. Like, you don't need to be put under general anesthetic to get tattooed. You just don't. And hopefully you can all understand what I'm like trying to say here. It could be worse. I could be saying things like this. Yeah, congrats and rest easy in sissy heaven. Like, there is no need for that. Like, we can have a conversation about how we all think general anesthetic tattoos are just not a good idea without being disrespectful. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Keep playing with fire, eventually it will burn you. General anesthesia is intended for serious surgery, not getting tattooed. Stop taking shortcuts to avoid a little discomfort. Not to mention the fact that stupidity like this is sure to bring our craft under even heavier scrutiny and regulation. The tattoo industry needs to be regulated more. Why do you not want it to be regulated more? This is a bit of a red flag to me, this comment, honestly. Like, the scrutiny thing, yeah, I mean, the tattoo industry is always under fire because of, well, stuff like this happens, you know? The whole general anesthetic thing, someone dying, and the fact that the tattoo industry is rife with predators. But, heavier regulation definitely needs to be a thing to stop all of the things that I've just mentioned. And if you don't want that, that's a bit weird. I have sadly been waiting to see this to happen so public health boards can step in and ban this ridiculous practice. It creates serious potential for health risks for an otherwise low-risk service. Exactly, I fully agree with this. Back to basics, doing way too much in this damn industry for content and the hype of doing something new and fresh. which again I fully agree with. I feel like every general anesthetic tattoo that's ever been done has been filmed in some way for content. That's it. That's all it is. Tattoo artists want to just break the boundaries and do stuff like this, but you don't need to be doing this. If you need to do stunts like this to get attention online, that says more about you than anything. You know, like, if you have to go to extremes, like, why isn't your tattoos done on conscious people enough? I hate the fact that this is famous celebrity tattooers who are promoting this and creating shops just for it. Use your influence for good, not to line your pockets and put people's lives at risk, which again, I fully agree with. Even though I do find any tattoo artist that is willing to do a general anesthetic tattoo very, very irresponsible and just not my type of tattoo artist, I do have a tiny little bit of empathy for the tattoo artist that was going to tattoo Ricardo, purely just because that is probably the biggest shock he will ever have in his life. Because, of course, nobody expected this to happen, and tattoo artists are not trained for such tragedy. Tattoo artists deal with, at most, a client passing out in the chair or having a medical emergency. Like, that is pretty much it when it comes to shock, right? Because the chances of a tattoo client dying on them right there in the chair is so rare, as opposed to a medical professional who deal with patients who are under general anesthetic all the time, who have been trained and walked through general anesthetics and the risks that come with it and what can happen when there's a reaction to general anesthetic and the deaths that may come with it and how to deal with all of that. As a medical professional, you are trained on how to deal with it. A tattoo artist has never had to deal with that. You know, so that tattoo artist being in that room while Ricardo is going into cardiac arrest or whatever it may be, and, you know, witnessing that as a tattoo artist, as someone that isn't a medical trained professional, that's a lot for a person to go through. That's a lot. We may not agree with what this tattoo artist was willing to do, but that's still a lot for him to go through, you know? And I don't think any of these tattoo artists that have done general anesthetic tattoos really know how much trauma that can carry, witnessing your client die on a table like that. I don't think they've ever thought about it. I don't think they're mentally prepared or anything. They just want to do it for the money, the clout, the social media content. It's not something that's gone through their brain by any means. Like, they take modern medicine for granted and think it's gonna be okay, when, heck, look what happened. It's not. And like I read earlier, this whole thing has now turned into a police investigation. Is the tattoo artist going to be liable in some way? Maybe not. But does the tattoo artist have anything protecting them against legal cases? Is the consent form truly airtight to stop anything happening to that tattoo artist? Would it stop Ricardo's family from taking any legal action? While yes, Ricardo did consent, that doesn't mean the family isn't going to lawyer up and try and find a fault here with the tattoo artist and the medical team and the hospital. It happens all the time. There may be some kind of loophole within that consent form that gives Ricardo's family the right to take legal action. And heck, there might not even be a loophole, but they'll try, maybe. Who knows? Like, it wouldn't be the first time a family's tried to take legal action against a medical situation. And the medical facility may be able to financially afford legal action. Maybe, possibly. The medical team may be covered by the medical facility also, but a tattoo artist, while some tattoo artists do make quite a bit of money, the majority don't. I don't know this tattoo artist's financial situation. I mean, if you're out here probably charging a lot of money to do anesthetic tattoos, then the tattoo artist might be okay. Who knows? But this could be a career ender for this tattoo artist. Like, was it really worth it? Because, you know, if the tattoo artist didn't agree to do this, then this wouldn't have happened. Because if there was no tattoo artist out there agreeing to anesthetic tattoos, then this wouldn't have happened. Ricardo probably would have had surgery at some point in his life, and maybe would have had a complication then that led to his death. All in all, though, like I've said, this whole thing truly is incredibly tragic. More so for Ricardo and his loved ones, of course. Like, they've lost someone that is very, very important to them. And of course, while there was absolutely no tattoos done for this case, I still urge you to not take part in general anesthetic tattoos, because it truly just isn't worth it. It really isn't worth it. Yes, tattoos hurt, but you can take your time with them. Even if it means only having 1 hour sessions to do a whole back piece. Like, yes, that's going to take you a while to do, but you'll get there eventually. You'll get there eventually. Take your time with it. Being tattooed shouldn't be a race. It's a journey. Like, don't rush into it if you can't take the pain or what have you. Like, there's no shame in that. We all know tattoos hurt. You saying, oh, tattoos hurt, no one's going to call you a baby for it. And if someone does, then they need to get a grip. They need to get a freaking grip. You don't get a medal for sitting through pain. This whole toxic thing of, oh, you have to sit through your tattoos and you have to feel every bit of pain and you have to sit there for hours and hours and hours, otherwise you're a big old baby. Like, no, let's stop that. It's so horrible. It's so toxic. It needs to be eradicated from the tattoo industry. Anyway, I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions on this whole topic, mainly the general anesthetic tattoos. Don't come for like Ricardo's life choices or anything like that. Like, there's a time and a place, you know, like someone died here. Let's just be a bit respectful. You know, this is coming from someone that is, you know, a sass queen at the best of times, but let's just put a lid on the sass for now. Okay, let's just be respectful. And yeah, anyway, that's it for today's video. I just want to say thank you so much for being here. And yeah, until my next one, stay safe, stay well, and until my next video, bye.